Hi everybody, I'm Ritzgarn.
I'm Seamus.
Our bloody skirmish with the bandits
I'm Chris.
was over.
And I'm
I had
Josh.
expected mutants and monsters, but how many more of my
we're the
fellow
Power
humans
Rangers.
would try to kill me before I reached Polis?
I
Together we
desperately
form
wish.
Voltron.
You know, my parents
I'm
didn't
the
allow me
Pink
to watch
Ranger.
Power Rangers.
I'm the
back
Pink
then.
Ranger. You guys can't have it.
Which is depressing because it was the 90s and what the fuck else was there to do?
I'm in no mood to
Rescue
get killed
Ranger.
today.
What's back here?
Don't play
Bourbon?
Hero Boy. Do you really think, does he really think, given your previous track record, that playing a hero is at all on your mind?
Yeah, playing the hero, I have a hard time believing that going into a base and gunning down everybody who lives there could ever be categorized as heroic.
Okay, don't do anything heroic, like wandering off for 5 minutes to examine the rain pipe while I stand here with my dick in my hand.
We really need Metro Rutskarn version.
I would happily
Like
dub
they-
over all the dialogue in the game.
Yes, that would be our Russian dub. Is we could just have you do all their dialogue.
How about we get Rutskarn
Men,
to do
women,
a,
children.
I should probably turn off Steam at some point here, you guys.
yeah. But how about we get Rutskarn to do a Dota 2 Russian Rutskarn themed announcer pack?
Let's pretend you saw nothing of this and that wasn't in the video at all.
Are we starting over?
No.
No. Josh wallows in his mistakes. He revels in them.
He does,
Pours
he'll
them
be
all
like-
over himself like chocolate syrup
I
and
know.
drinks them off.
Be like, we need to cut this, and Judge is like, no, we need to loop it. We need to repeat it as many times as possible.
We need to get dubstep remixes of you accidentally saying a racial slur instead of the name of a game developer.
Did that
I
happen?
think Bourbon is fighting more of them, but
Not yet.
I'd believe it, and that's the sad thing.
I'm gonna loot all this stuff. Babies.
So, yeah, babies.
I love how Cam is just like, what is Josh done this time?
Well, you said babies, and I didn't know what was going on, because I've been through this section and didn't see babies. And then 4 minutes later, you open a crate, and it's full of babies.
Yeah, I was wondering the same thing. Where are the babies going to come up? I was in suspense, like, it was really exciting. And then it was just babies. But who put those in that crate? Who's like, okay, I've got my blackened baby dolls. I'll put them in this
Ghosts,
crate for
probably.
safekeeping.
He's shipping them. They're hot commodity over in shithole number 5.
No, I mean, honestly, they feel less out of place here than they do in, say, Fallout, because there's kids in all the towns. Like, there are people who would actually want to consume dolls in this universe.
Yeah. Kids plural, not one kid.
It's the town child. It takes a village, and that's all we're giving it. We're just giving one village per child.
Yeah, you know, we
One child per
don't want
village.
all of these, like, we don't want all of these raiders who, you know, got bad role models and bad upbringings. So we're just being super careful and we're taking it one child at a time. Literally one
Why do you
child.
waste so
When this kid
many
turns
shots
18, we'll
with
start
that
another
Bourbon?
one.
So, much like Half-Life, and I said this last time, but having played through this section in particular, it reminded me, the monsters are pretty boring to fight in this game. It is a very
boring,
shootery...
Yeah, I understand that some people... I mean, the monsters are boring mechanically just because they just run at you, roar. I mean, okay, I thought that AI was pretty cool in Half-Life 2, but I guess I'm sort of over it now. But they run up, get in your face, roar at you, and then just stand there and eat shotgun shells. It seems a little played out now.
I think I missed the
And they're-
scripted segment where that thing almost falls into the gas thing
Yeah.
because I was busy getting stuff where
But-
Bourbon wasn't.
But they're also kind of boring visually. Like, they're not terrible, but they're not really interesting or fearsome. They just sort of look like
That's kind of the
most
problem. They're
boring
not
generic
terrible.
monster.
You would
Yeah.
expect sewer mutants to be terrible.
Yeah.
In fact, they're just kind of...
I mean,
they
they're
are
worse on the normal difficulties though because They're a
When
lot
you- when you
harder
tell
to
a-
kill.
When you tell a computer graphics artist to create a monster, that's what they make. It doesn't matter if it's a mid-budget fantasy film or whether it's an alien race in a crappy horror movie, or whether it's a monster in a first-person shooter. That's what they look like. Kind of gray, kind of leathery skin looking, vaguely dog-like head with all the fur off of it, long arms, long claws, loping stride, kind of a dinosaur yell. That's the template.
Yeah. And it's not terrible. It doesn't ruin the game, but it does sort of like we spend a lot of time doing this kind of thing, and it would be nice if the main enemy was a little more terrifying, horrific, or whatever.
I wonder
if it made your
how-
skin crawl a little more.
I wonder how specific the specifications they had to work with from the books were. Like how much detail the book describes them in.
I don't.
Well, I gather from the books that most of the fight,
there were
most
that
of the
many of these
threat
in
in
the
the
books.
books was, yeah, in the book it's mostly about a mental threat. You know, you're afraid of this thing that messes with your mind and it's ghosts and things like that.
Where'd you go?
And it's not naked giant naked mole rats that attack you.
They do kind of look like mole rats, don't they? Like,
They kind of look like the mole rats from Fallout, except bipedal instead of not on their feet, like the mutated version.
yeah, that's what I was thinking of. Like the first Fallout game. That sort of the two big front teeth.
It was really
Which sort of
thoughtful
gives-
of those trappers back there to soak their tripwire in glow-in-the-dark paint.
Although, okay,
Just had to go through a
okay,
bunch
you
of
ready
glow
for
sticks for
mechanical nitpick? Okay, how did those monsters live down here and
Market
never set
station
off
was
that
just
trap?
a little further.
There.
But
There.
Ruben
Thank
warned
you.
me that our
I'm here all
path went
night.
through.
Maybe they
all
couldn't get
back.
there because of the staircase.
Did you skip something, or was that literally all of the?
That's
all
all that.
Now we're stuck in fucking green.
The
No, I mean,
levels are very
Ark
small.
commentary.
Bodies. I'll try to get our asses
Yeah, it
out
felt
of
like
here.
the commentary got cut off. You
Search
pushed your
the bodies.
You pushed push to talk. Didn't you?
Oh, did I? Shit. God damn it.
Ironically, you hit push to talk to cut off Artyom.
Push to talk, and you're
Okay, I was
using
like,
hands
God
free, so you
fucking
didn't need
damn it, Josh!
No, I
realize
switched
I
off
have
of
10 lines
hands-free
in this
because it was
You get to talk all the time.
like
When we
hell.
play game, I am silent. Let me talk when it is between the fucking levels.
I love this. I love the idea that Artyom is getting frustrated with the play.
That tells me something is very wrong with this place. Remember our agreement.
So this is interesting.
Counting on you, kid.
Because it is already established that there's mental threats,
Come
and you've
on.
already sort of seen
Yeah.
weird visions, but this is the first time it's really getting
I
personal.
promise you, dear, I will come back and lubricate you. Also,
And I love
new
any
paint.
kind of stuff like this in a game. Anytime a
Hey,
game
thanks, Pyramid.
messes with your
I just
mind.
slip under here.
Here you are calling me.
Anytime a game wants to mess with your mind as opposed to throwing monsters at you, I love it.
So what's the difference between going these two directions? Because I always went towards the dude and not towards Red Nightmare Hellscape.
Apparently you die. that is what happens.
Maybe we shouldn't go towards Red Nightmare Hellscape. My vote.
Huh.
I guess.
didn't know that's what happened there.
That's
You
really
know-
confusing, actually.
Sometimes going towards the red hellscape is good.
You know,
Other
it's funny
times,
because
apparently
I
not
would
so
have
much.
expected that it wouldn't matter.
Well, and you could even justify it. Oh, I'm going there to help that guy. I'm going there to help the person in that doorway.
Yeah, I would feel like it's weird that they kill you for that. Like, I'm not suggesting it's
Yeah,
bad design by any means. It's just very
Well,
unusual.
It is unusual, and you know what? Repeating this scene really does take the teeth out of it. So that is kind of unfortunate that they kill you, just because this is so much
I'm
less
sliding.
spooky when you watch it the second time.
Come on.
And suddenly it feels like the game is saying, "No, you're having a nightmare wrong. Let me no,
Come back and lubricate you.
try again.
So get you a new
Have the
paint.
proper nightmare this time."
Oh, the great door.
It should
I
spawn
don't see any use.
monsters.
Incidentally, Bourbon is
You-
really, really funny in this cutscene. He's like talking to the door.
Well, I mean, isn't sanity kind of a big part of the game? Maybe he's just starting to lose
Yes.
it. I love you, door.
I also like that it blurs the line between
still
when this
going.
guy's gone crazy and when he's just, you know, sort of being weird. Because he was being weird when he was talking about the grill and, like, painting it and stuff. And
Yeah.
now it seems like he's really going off his rocker.
What the hell just happened to me? Artyom, did you hear those
But I like
I'm
that
not
the
sure I
Dark
got
One
the
reaches
chance
out
to
you.
loot everything in there. Can we go back?
Enemy.
I love the touch that he's having a hallucination, but it's different from yours. I love that. I thought that was a wonderful touch. So you realize, oh, wow, I was seeing some freaky stuff, and he was seeing
what's
something
up?
else that was also freaky.
So close.
I wish the canisters of gas masks as a resource made a little bit more sense.
They are really fuzzy. We'll get to that probably when we go outside for the first time, where it's actually important. Which is incidentally why I bought so many gas mask things.
It treats them
at,
almost... yeah.
Oh, is that a silent? Oh shit! Let's not stay here long enough for all this stuff to collapse.
Does it collapse over time?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I
it
wanna
does.
make
It was doing
I want to
that.
make a brief note about the silenced revolver. So some people pointed out that the game's lore justifies this by having it be a very rare model of revolver that actually can be silenced. I would still argue, though, because the thing is, I was basing that not on my understanding of the lore, which admittedly it was incomplete, but on what models are and animations are presented in the game, which actually don't include the feature that would allow it to be silenced. So,
Right.
you know, I'm going to go ahead and still say that it seems weird to me, but it's fig leaf justified. And I'll go as far as to say that. It's actually often a trap to get into these sort of loops of pedantry where, like, oh, but they say one thing here, but that's not really what they say here.
Bourbon.
Because at some point it just comes down to what you're willing to accept and what you're not.
Or which part of the game you believe. Do you believe what it tells you or what it shows you?
But
It's actually not
ultimately,
your
like, I don't want to make this more of a thing that I actually feel like it is. I don't really give too much of a shit that it's a silenced revolver. Don't make the mistake of thinking, and, you know, I could understand how you'd think this, that I would, like, see the silenced revolver and be like, oh, no, I'm not playing this. I thought it was
Why are
silly.
you shooting at the
That's
thing
the
behind
absolute
me?
worst thing I'd say about it.
Did you see that shit? Like Bourbon's
Yes.
getting attacked by like 6 of them, but oh no, the almost dead one behind Artyom, that one needs to really get a lot of buckshot.
I actually saw them run past him to get to you.
Trying to conserve ammunition because the next segment is really fucking
I'm sure he
hard.
appreciates it, Josh.
Yarr!
You're a dead-eye shot, Josh.
Snout butt. Josh, can you get behind one of them? I really want to evaluate this snout butt disclaimer. Would you describe their butts as snout-like? Do they seem to snuffle? Do they draw in sensory intake?
You know, I don't pay attention to these things like you do, Rutskarn.
Snout butt. Snout butt.
The knife, incidentally, in this game feels really, really bad. There's
Yeah,
no weight to its hits.
Well, it also does
Feels
that
very
thing where
floaty.
the animation is the same when you hit and don't hit. So,
Yeah.
like, one of the things Half-Life does really well is when you hit something, you do that ding, 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 ding really fast. And Josh's mic was open for that, and it sounded hilarious.
God damn it.
I don't like hearing myself make onomatopoeia.
What a coincidence.
But
I
when
actually
you
really
miss in Half-Life,
appreciated
you just
that.
sort of whiff with.
Hear that, boys?
I actually really appreciated that in Far Cry 2 as well. Like when you hit something with the machete, it looks really awkward. Like, you know, your machete hits it, like, rebounds, and you feel like you can almost feel the unpleasant shock to your shoulder from, like,
Yeah.
hitting a truck or something.
I do. You sure?
And then if you miss,
It feels a lot better in
there's, like,
Last Light when the knife becomes just like the melee key. rather than a separate weapon.
I don't really approve of that too much.
It's not like I don't like that in general, but it works in Last Light probably better for what the knife you actually want to use it for, which is
It
like
feels less like I'm
you want to
pulling out a
sneak
knife
up to someone and
stabbing
stab them in the back. In this game, you can't do that, despite the fact that you can kill people by hitting them in the hand with a
I've
throwing
never
knife.
seen a market like this.
When you do that, when I do
You
that,
could
it feels
buy
less like
almost
I'm
anything.
stabbing them, and
But
more
Bourbon
like
owed
I'm
money to the
psychically
House of
attacking them.
Centuries, and
Because
was
I'm like,
anxious
my
to
hands are holding a gun right now. Oh, I just attacked him with a knife. Where the fuck did that come from? Do I have a third arm on my chest, curled up behind my jacket, and it like just chops out with a knife?
You have
I've never
one
seen a
of-
market like it. You could buy almost anything, but bourbon.
The running joke with this game is I've never seen a market like it. You could buy almost anything except the filters you're going to need in the next level.
Look here, boss. I'm sure we can work this out.
Which is why I bought some at the last station.
And you keep an eye on this one, huh?
Ooh, sounds
there
like
a
that
few
guy's
here?
about to buy some bourbon. He's gonna have a long, cold sip of bourbon.
Stand still, I'm talking to you.
So, you guys, you get out much? Is there anything cool
What
to
happens
do
if
here?
you do move? Okay, I guess they don't care. You should get right in front of his. You should get right either in front
That's
of
a
or
cool
behind his machine
flamethrower.
gun. Oh,
Or a machine
flamethrower.
gun.
Definitely that.
No, it's a machine gun.
Welcome to the market.
What happens if you... Oh,
Oh,
your
good.
weapons are down. You actually can't attack
Would you like
these
to
guys.
enjoy their company a little more?
Yeah, not in town.
Hey, watch your tongue.
You think you've already enjoyed their company enough for everyone, bourbon?
I can pay back those grail cards.
And Bourbon, you can do that. I'm gonna hang out with the sleeping people.
Shit for the rest of it.
Years ago,
Hey, you guys sleeping? You want some flashlight in your face? Because I got lots of flashlight.
it was a nightmare. Terrain is
Let me
difficult
check
to
your pupil
traverse.
dilation.
Can't go around
Okay.
it since the tunnel roof is
Okay.
giving in, and all the
Okay, I'll be
space
honest, I'm
between
just
the
fucking-
Does this
carriages
annoy
and
you?
tunnel
I
walls
need to
is
know.
completely
Is
filled
this
with salt.
annoying?
And there
Hey,
is something
does this-
weird going on inside
this
the
annoy you?
brain. I'm a rational person.
Does this bug you? Does
I
this
don't buy
bug
all
you?
that
Does this bug you?
mystical nonsense.
Stop annoying skinny
I think
version
this
of me
is a
in 30
morality
years.
point here. I meant to have the list of them pulled up so I could easily do them without wasting time, but I forgot
Are they
to do
letting you
that
through?
shit.
Yeah, they
What
would.
will it be?
Well,
There you go. Okay.
Oh, that's the latrine.
If anyone reads me, respond. It's Moscow.
It is
I always thought
Hello.
this was cool.
Chris,
They've
ahead.
got a guy with a radio here trying to contact the other
Some of the metro
like,
stations are even deeper.
the other metro stations in like other cities like St. Petersburg and whatnot.
Kiev. That's another city. I know that one.
Novgorod.
Boss is busy. Come back later.
Alaska.
We were doing so well.
Berlin. That's a good one. Yeah, Berlin.
You know, at a certain point in history,
Hookah. Yeah.
Did you just get high, Josh?
did you
That's
get
what this
morality
game
points
needed.
for that?
I think I did.
Kids, you heard it here.
I mean, I guess it makes sense.
Getting high will keep you sane.
Well, I mean, again, it's that weird thing where we don't know whether to call them sanity points or like mental health points or whatever. But you know, he's just
Oh my
killed a
god,
bunch of
this
naked
looks
mole
awesome
rats,
when
and-
I jump. Have you guys ever really just jumped?
So the
So,
new
is
guy
it-
rolls into
Did
town,
everybody looks like
gets
they're going in
high,
slow motion?
and begins
Or does their
hopping.
weed just make you super fast? Just give you like the speed force? It's like speed force hash.
I'll go ask my mom to know.
I know you guys have like jumped in Counter Strike, but have you ever bunny hopped in Counter Strike on weed? Actually, I'm sure a lot of people have probably bunny hopped in Counter Strike.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
In fact, that's probably the default movement style in that game. is
Hey,
to
it's
be
the
high
cart.
And hop.
Is this, have we reached the vehicle section, Josh?
This is a different cart. This has got a motor.
Boy, do I love these towns. I love all the towns. They are
know.
just so wonderfully detailed. and interesting. I just really appreciate the time and detail that goes into it. You see very few people that are copy. There's very little copy pasta going on. There are duplicate people, but they're hard to find. You do not. Oh, there's that guy again.
Oh, you can buy
feels
filters
like
here.
Except in the last town, anyway.
it
could've sworn
feels
The
like
two
everybody
female
else-
characters we've seen so far.
Right.
I think we get a few new weapons in the next level, so it's probably not a good idea to buy any weapons here. Incidentally, we should probably talk about the fucking super-powered railgun I left behind in the last episode. Buy one more of these. A lot of people, including the Metro Wiki, are like, you should use that in range difficulty mode, but here's the thing. The thing has a really low refire rate, which is why I don't use it. And you have to babysit it with the damn charger, which makes it even worse. Sure, it's really powerful, but most of the guys you get attacked by are swarms, as we'll see very soon. And it's not as useful as a shotgun in that situation.
I think you already know the way.
Did I mention how much I like these towns, especially around the bar? Just the wonderful detail that they put into like stuff on the. It feels lived in. This is what I'm always praising games for. Is when they feel lived in. You feel like there are really people here.
Oh well. Well, one of the other things I'd want to bring up is the fact that even it would be really easy for every town here to feel identical because they're all sort of a dingy, built inside of a subway system. You're really limited architecturally. Like, you can't do any lazy things to differentiate towns. They're all going to be about the same cramped quarters. They're all going to be inside of a subway system in some capacity. It's
they
hard
can't
to
be
make
like
them stand.
red and a blue one, and you can't just give them each their own color palette and call it a day.
And there's not like a forest one and a lava one. You can't do that here. So the effort to make every one of these towns feel unique is really impressive.
Ooh, I can shoot people now. Oh, my gun's still lowered.
I mean, they're all vaguely similar towns. I mean, that's sort of what happens after the apocalypse, but each one does feel unique. It feels like its own identity, its own layout, its own...
very much. Dude, you just wait until we get to the later parts of the game.
I mean, about the only thing that's really missing is stronger elements of a sensical economy, for lack of a better words. Like, I know the last town we were in had the pigs and maybe they're the farming town or whatever, but that idea isn't really carried through all the way. You don't know why people live here versus another junction 2 things over. Like, what is the benefit of living here? What service does the city provide? They don't really do that, but that's a really minor quibble because the cities have so much identity anyway.